Hello, Aries rising. It's Mandy Ray of Ecstatic Astrology, and I'm here for your December rising sign forecast. It's late. Look, y'all, I'm late. It's December 15th. I recorded the new moon and Sag video on the 12th. So I have to apologize because my whole family's sick. And it's been rough trying to get these videos out because it requires a lot of talking. So here we are. So I want to go over where all this stuff is for you. First of all, Aries rising, it's pretty easy to follow your houses around. Aries is your first house, Taurus is your second house, your third house is Gemini. So once you start getting the hang of the fact that the first house is the first sign according to your rising sign, and then all the way through, you can easily track your own transits. Okay. So let's just start with the new moon in Sag. That was in your ninth house, not higher learning, beliefs, new horizons, travel, truth. So this becomes a philosophical transit for you. The new moon is the beginning of this phase, right? So new moon on the 12th. The thing about this new moon is a square to Neptune in Pisces. That is spirituality, but not in a belief way. This is like subconscious, Holy Spirit, voices of angels kind of transit, okay? And I talk about it in that language because that's the best way I know how to describe the difference between the ninth and the 12th house. The ninth house is like the Bible, it's the guru, it is travel, it is foreign languages, it's learning. It's a little more material, still abstract. It's your truth, right? It's what you believe. The 12th house, retreat, self reflection, spirituality, transcendence, release, subconscious, dreams. It's super abstract. So when you have this tension, it's between what you believe, what you know, and your intuition or something going on in the back of your mind. And so those two things were and still are actually happening during this phase. The reason I say they still are is because tomorrow, the 16th, the sun in Sag actually squares Neptune and Pisces at the exact degree. Okay. So confusion can be a thing, not being sure of what you think about something, needing to research, needing to get clarity, at least through the first couple of weeks of this going on. Okay. So the new moon in Sag is ruled by Jupiter. And so we need to look at where Jupiter is. Jupiter is in your second house in Taurus, which is your money, values, security. So what you're ending up doing is searching for what you believe based on your values, your money. What is the philosophy around that, right? What is my philosophy around my values, around security, around money? Do I want to expand that? What do I need to do? Where do I go? Especially with it being square to Neptune. And then we also need to look at where Venus is because Venus rules Taurus. So you've got Venus and Scorpio. That's the eighth house. So this is a little financial for you. Venus and Scorpio is about empowerment for you, shared resources, contracts. Are you empowered by the agreements in your life? Are you getting what you need? So you really search the philosophical meaning of all of these things and what your intuition is telling you as well around this transit, the new moon in Sag, and then the upcoming sun in Sagittarius. So Venus has been in your eighth house of shared resources, sexuality, and contracts since December 4th. It will continue to be there. When does it move into Capricorn? Oh, Sagittarius till the 29th. And at that point, when Venus begins to transit Sagittarius on the 29th, Venus brings some balance to this area of belief and truth and knowing. And so maybe the questions you have will be answered around that time. If there is lack of clarity, it could come before. But that's what's going on with the new moon. Now, there's this other thing going on separately, and that's Mercury retrograde. That's in your 10th house of career, ambition, public reputation. That will be there until this January 1st. Okay. So Mercury is retrograde in your 10th house. Actually, that's wrong. It retrogrades back into your ninth house. Even more questions to be answered with regard to what you believe and truth. Okay. So when does Mercury retrograde back? The 23rd. So on the 23rd, it retrogrades back into your ninth house. So we have a 10th and a ninth house transit. So what can we glean from this? Mercury retrograde first in your 10th house, career, public image, uh, reputation, authority. It is very much your public persona. There seems to be some rethinking about this area for you. And then once it moves back into your ninth house, it's the philosophy around it, right? Maybe I don't like what image I'm putting out. Maybe I need to rethink this because my philosophies are different. My truth is different. So that's the Mercury retrograde transit for you. It's going to interact with some things. Mercury stationed retrograde on the 13th, right after the new moon. Okay. So what we have with Mercury retrograde in Capricorn is that it will trine supportive of Jupiter in your second house of money. So here's where the Mercury retrograde comes out and has you rethinking career, but with this support from my values, my self-sufficiency, my security, maybe that is what's driving some rethinking in the career area or vice versa. Okay, so there's that. Then once it retrogrades back into Sagittarius on the 23rd, it's going to square Neptune. Okay, so it'll be in your ninth house, again, your truth, and it will square this intuitive subconscious part of your chart. Okay, so again, another maybe moment of confusion, of illusion. This is a time when I would definitely be wary of making any agreements that last during this time, especially with regards to career. There needs to be a little more clarity. And so as it squares Neptune, which is going to happen around the 27th. This is the time that it squares Neptune. And the thing about the 27th and 28th is that Mercury and Mars will be together square Neptune in your ninth house of higher learning, beliefs, truth. What you believe is being challenged by some intuition, some message, some even depression, something like that. The 12th house can be isolating a little bit. So it's also the difference between adventure and retreat, right? They're two very different things and they are in tension during this time. So it becomes really philosophical and spiritual. And then on the way back up, and that kind of gets into January, which is fine, after it goes direct, it's going to do the trine, the supportive trine again from your 10th house of career, boop, to your second house of money. That is when to make the decision. That's going to be maybe, I want to say around January 11th. I'm not exactly positive on that, but it's coming in early January, and I'll go over that when I do my January video. So my point being, maybe wait a little bit if you are trying to jump on something, but also be aware of the spiritual connotations of all of these transits. Okay. The other thing, let's see, that I want to go over, I feel like we've covered pretty much all of this. I just want to go over the full moon in Cancer, which is in your fourth house of home and family. And this happens on December 26th. So the full moon in Cancer to me is very good. It's sextile Jupiter in your second house of money. Sextiles are opportunity. And it's trine Saturn in your 12th house of retreat, release, transcendence, reflection. And the full moon being in your fourth house means the sun is in your 10th house of career. All of these areas are working very well together. Your values, your home and family, or you become very aware of something, very at peace with something. I really like this. And Venus at this time is in your 8th house of empowerment, shared resources, and contracts, trine Neptune in your 12th house. So all of these areas are actually really well aspected during this full moon right after Christmas. And I really like it for all of us because I feel like it's going to be a magical, something comes into maybe some understanding around this time. The only caveat is that Mars and Mercury are square Neptune during this time. So what you can do actually is take advantage of all these positive transits while also allowing yourself to still remain a little open-minded, knowing that there's still an answer out there for whatever is going on in your life. Okay. I would expect it to be emotional. It's Cancer, right? It's a full moon in Cancer. Really homey, really needing some comfort, all of that comes up around that time. I actually am having my full family get together on the full moon, which, we normally always do it on Christmas Eve, and they just decided, that now is the time. So I really like that. I think it is perfect, right? So Cancer does deal with family no matter where it is in your chart. So that's an overview of December, kind of a quick high points. I'm really excited too about Venus and Sagittarius on the 29th. And lastly, and maybe you are particularly excited about this, Aries rising, Jupiter goes direct in Taurus, your second house of money, on the 30th. And there's some really good things that are in store for you there coming up in the next couple of months. So really excited about that. Also, the good thing is Jupiter is in Venus's home, while Venus is in Jupiter's home. It's in Sagittarius. That's called mutual reception. So you have philosophy and money both being supported by the benefics, and I really love that for you. And they're actually working together. So there's also this new horizons thing, right? And I love that as well. New horizons maybe that end up making you more money or making you feel and money may not be the thing, whatever you value is what is being supported. Okay. All right, guys, I'll see you for my January video. Thanks for hanging with me, and I will catch you on the flip side.